Okay, let's move on. Our 5 games to watch. What are your 5 games to watch in this week? We talked about it. There's a couple that are obvious, and then there's a bunch of depth that's a clear step below.
Hmm.
What are your 5 to watch in week 10?
Number one is the game of the year to this point, Georgia Tennessee.
Hmm.
You, yeah, really, you don't even need a secondary game to this one. I think the commercials for Georgia Tennessee are going to be better than anything else on TV at that point. Alabama LSU after it follows that one up at 7 o'clock on ESPN. That one's going to hey, it's in Baton Rouge. Night game in Baton Rouge, Alabama LSU. Yeah, enough said. That's sign me up. I think Liberty Arkansas will be really interesting. So that'll be number three for me. And you mentioned like we're kind of getting down into the more difficult games. I really like Clemson Notre Dame. I
Hmm.
still think that's really interesting. Maybe Notre Dame, yeah, it's lost some of its luster because Notre Dame's not a top 10 team anymore. Two really good brands, two brands that have made the playoff very recently. So
Hmm.
yeah, give me that one as number four, and I will round out number five with. I'm actually going to. Oh wow. Okay, no, sorry, not gonna. I was about to make a last minute switch. Not going to do that. Give me the one that I made a lock on: Texas and K State. Number five. We're going to the Big 12
Hmm.
at 7 o'clock on FS1. We'll watch the Longhorns and the Wildcats.
All right, I'm almost in perfect agreement with you. Instead of Liberty, Arkansas, I have Texas Tech, TCU. I feel like that one is just a little more interesting, has a little more stakes to it because of TCU, what they're doing. And I just feel like that's going to be very pointsy, and I like offensive football, to be
Okay,
honest.
here we go.
Okay, let's get into the locks. You
Okay.
already you already shared one. You got Texas minus 2.5 against Kansas State.
Yep.
Anything else that you're looking at?
No. Now I'm being super conservative here. I'm trying to say no to a lot of these. I don't see much value in a lot of these. There's a lot of
Okay.
weeks where stuff pops and you can see it. For me,
Hmm.
this week, there's not much that pops out. The Arkansas 13 and a half line is interesting right there under that 2 touchdown mark. I would kind of like
Yeah.
the Hogs to cover that, possibly at home. I would be leaning that way, maybe a little bit. Um, yeah, that's kind of let go with yours, and maybe you can talk me into a few. I would say Georgia at 8.5 is a great line. And if I wasn't a Georgia fan, I probably would be going that direction. I am a Georgia fan. I'm way too emotionally invested in that. I don't need any more cause to be, yeah, invested. So for that reason, I'm out.
All right. Let me see if I can interest you in any of these. I got Duke minus 9.5 against Boston College. This is mostly just fading Boston College. They are a
Okay.
dumpster fire.
Okay. I like it.
And Duke is actually pretty good.
They are
I don't know if
sneaky.
Boston College will be able to score. They just lost to. I don't know if you noticed, but they lost to UConn last
Yes.
week.
Yes.
Um, by 10, I believe, and Duke is favored by 9.5 against them.
I know. I know.
I think Duke wins this game by at least 10 points.
Okay.
Not necessarily saying that Duke is all that good, although solid first year under Mike Elko. Boston College, this is all about fading them.
They put up 3 points against UConn. That game was 13-3.
Yes,
Boston College lost to UConn. Yeah.
yes. Staying in the ACC, I'm taking North Carolina minus 7.5 against Virginia. I think Virginia
Mm,
is also terrible, and North Carolina
mm.
is actually pretty sneaky good. They're playing well. They just beat Pitt, who is a lot better than Virginia, by 18 points, I believe. Virginia sucks. North Carolina's good. Drake May covers this on his own.
Yeah.
Come on, you like both of those. You got to jump in with me on some of these.
I really do like both of those. Wow. Yeah. No, you're right. The North Carolina, Virginia, 7.5. It's a little unfortunate. Like if it could be 7, 6.5, that would be tasty
Sure.
right under that touchdown mark. 7.5 kind of sucks. But
Yep.
yeah, no, North Carolina is more than a 7.5 point better team than Virginia. Like
Yeah.
nothing that you've seen from this season would indicate nothing that you have seen from this season would indicate that Virginia can keep this within 2 touchdowns. Not that we've seen yet. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I like your first two. Keep going.
All right. I have Ohio State minus 37.5 against Northwestern.
Oh, that's a
This is
huge number.
again, I'm just fading a crap team. Northwestern sucks. We just saw them give up over 30 to Iowa.
I know.
They gave up over 30 points to Iowa. Ohio State will have 40 by halftime. It might be
Okay.
42-0 at halftime. I'm just saying Northwestern is terrible. Ohio State
Yeah.
is really good, and they're
Yeah.
going to walk into 7 touchdowns minimum. I'm saying this game could be 63-7.
I like where your head's at. Northwestern hasn't won since week 0 in Ireland, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, against Scott Frost, we kind of forget about that. Was a long time ago. It feels like a long time ago. Yeah. No, I like it. Northwestern 1-7. I could almost come along with you. For them to keep it within 38, they would have to hold, because I don't see Northwestern scoring more than like 7 points. Like they would have to hold Ohio State into the 40s. And yeah, no, I agree. I like every side so far. You've had some good bets.
Yeah. I think the only way this is a cover is if Ohio State's third stringers give up some points in the fourth quarter. Like that's the only way.
Doubtful.
And I don't even see that.
Yeah, doubtful.
All right, continuing the theme of going with some favorites, I'm taking Penn State minus 13.5 against Indiana.
Okay.
Penn State, I like the number there. It's just under 2 touchdowns, which is a favorable number. And I'm fading a bad team. Indiana's not very good. They're just not. And I say that as a person who likes Indiana. I want Indiana to be good, and they're just not. I know there's a bit of a letdown potential here for Penn State since they just lost to Ohio State. Also, they did fight with Ohio State, and there's a chance that they could even play better the rest of the year because like they did show themselves a little bit of something there.
They did. No,
they're clearly 2 touchdowns better than Indiana. Changed my mind.
No, I have nothing for you there. I've actually been on every side that you've been on so far. Like I like every side that you've been on and would agree. Do I have the confidence to pull the trigger? That's another thing. But the Penn State absolutely fought with Ohio State. And I do agree with you that the players have to be encouraged that, hey, we led that game in the third quarter against all Mr. Everything in Ohio State. So no, I like that. Again, kind of the same deal as earlier. Nothing that we've seen this season would indicate that Indiana can keep this within 2 scores. Nothing. So yeah. I would agree. Whether or not I just keep going. Keep going. Sure. Let's see what else you got.
One more favorite. I'm taking Clemson minus 3.5 against Notre Dame. Obviously, I'm a Notre Dame fan. Yeah. I just don't think the matchups work very well in our favor, specifically with Notre Dame's offense playing against Clemson's defense. Notre Dame wants to run the ball. Clemson will stop the run. Notre Dame is not very good at passing the ball, which is really the one weakness that Clemson's defense has. I think Clemson wins this game something like 28-17. To me, Today, I was thinking about what my locks will be, and I was like expecting this line to be around in the 10 range, and I was like, I'm probably taking Clemson minus 9.5. Yeah. And then I see a 3.5. Almost feels too good to be true for betting purposes, which actually makes me feel good as a Notre Dame fan. Like maybe we have more of a chance than I think. Vegas seems to kind of like Notre Dame here for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm just going to go ahead and take Clemson minus 3.5 and hope I'm wrong.
I have nothing more to add to that. I would lean. Yeah, you're on the right side. Like that's absolutely the side you should take.
Yeah. All right. I have one more. I have one total pick. I'm going to Texas Tech TCU. The number is 69. I'm taking over that. I think both teams will score. TCU will score 40 on their own, and their defense is not all that great. So I do think Texas Tech will put some points up as well. To me, I know it's a really high number. I just think it goes over because it's a Big 12 game, and there's a very real chance because TCU has played from behind a lot this year. I think there's a very real chance they'll have to put up some serious points in the second half. So I don't expect a situation where they're up big and just kind of sit on the ball. I think this is a type of situation. This is the type of game where both teams will actually be playing offense the whole way.
Okay. No, I like that. I'm going to agree with you. That was it, by the way. You had 6,
yes,
right?
That was my 6. Okay. Yep.
I'm going to agree with you on 1. So I had 1. Now I'm going to 2 total bets. I will agree with you. Lock agreement on North Carolina. They're absolutely better than the Cavaliers. Virginia has not been good this year. North Carolina has a real stud at quarterback. Drake May can win this on his own and get you the cover on his own. I don't care if it's at home. I'm going to swallow that. Give me the Tar Heels to win and cover.
Sure.